Hey guys, it's Mike here, and in this video, I want to discuss something which I've been asked a number of times over the years on my channel. This has to do with a particular moment in the Cell games, and what if things were, well, a little bit different? That question comes down to Goku, and more specifically, what if Goku ate a Senzu bean right after his battle against Perfect Cell? Instead of waiting, instead of all the events that played out in terms of his fight against the Cell Juniors, and of course, Gohan's fight against Cell himself. Well, let's get into that right now as I open up the manga and get directly into that. So for those of you who don't necessarily remember, what we could see right here is that Goku, well, he exhausted himself and depleted his energy in his fight against Cell. This is especially the case when he used his Warp Kamehameha. You see, Goku went up in the air, and everyone was under the impression he wouldn't really fire this full power Kamehameha that he had put so much of his energy directly into at Cell. However, because the angle he was at, it seemed like he was going to destroy the entire planet with this. Even Cell was scared, Vegeta was saying he's really going to do it, but this is what led to the Warp Kamehameha. He used instant transmission in the middle of the charge and then immediately fired it. He's going to fire his laser directly at the random lizard bug man, the perfect cricket man, Cell himself, and blew off the top half of his body. Of course, this didn't end up really, well, working out for Goku, because Cell, well, he hopped back up and he regrew that part of his body, and the two of them continued to battle. Goku only got even weaker from here, especially after he decided to use, what is this? Vegeta's technique, or, well, Goku's technique in this case, I guess, right? Which also, like always, was ineffective because even though Cell was taking a little bit of damage from this barrage, he just decided to use Android 17's barrier and prevent it from doing anything. You see, the thing is right here, as Roshi points out, Goku had no real chance of winning the fight. Cell wasn't really exhausted, despite huffing and puffing a little bit, whereas Goku was. Cell even told Goku he could eat a Senzu bean just to make the fight a little bit more fun for Cell. So the thing is that this is something that they refuse to do. They refuse to give him a Senzu bean during the fight because they didn't think that Goku would want one. After all, they assumed that he was fighting to win. But of course, Goku gives up because he never intended to win. He tried his best, as he goes on to tell Gohan very shortly after this. He went all out, tried his best, but he knew that Gohan was already stronger and would only get more so than even Cell when he unleashed his hidden power within him. That was Goku's whole game plan. He also fought against Cell to show him, well, exactly how Cell fights. But this goes even further, you see, because Cell, well, eventually he goes on to get a Senzu bean from Goku. Instead of Goku eating the Senzu bean they asked Krillin for, he throws it to Cell, and, well, the perfect man himself, the perfect bodybuilder, ended up eating it and getting all of his gains back. Now, a lot of people think this is a mistake, but of course, if you look at the top right corner on your mobile devices or your desktop, or down below in the description, or just on my channel, one of my most popular videos, why Goku giving Cell a Senzu bean wasn't that bad. It wasn't a mistake because it played directly into his plan. If Goku had chosen to not give Cell the Senzu bean, he might have gone full power immediately against Gohan, or once he started to have a little bit more of a challenge when he was more, tired and annoyed and frustrated, like a lot of us get when we're hangry, right? And decide to put him down. But Cell, in this case, he was overconfident because he was like, well, perhaps Goku's words were correct and that his son actually is stronger, but it doesn't matter because I'm so much more powerful than him and at full energy. We even see this on display. Gohan becomes a Super Saiyan 2, but what happens here? Well, you see, Cell, he decides to show him how terrifying my true power really is. And he powers up here. Cell never even went close to full power against Goku or against Gohan, who was stronger than him, until right now. And look at Goku's expression. He's shocked by the power of Cell on display. Look at his stance, look at his face. Wow, he's finally revealing his full power at last. It feels like he's making the planet shake, says Krillin. The only person who isn't shocked and impressed by his power is, well, Gohan. He was doing an internal kind of situation here where he's like, well, you still seem weak to me. Whoopee. Or, is that all you got? Like he says in the English dub. Because even compared to this power, Cell was nothing, because Gohan is so much stronger. But the same thing is the case for Goku at his full power. Goku's power was only able to allow him to keep up with a heavily suppressed Cell. He was still at a disadvantage the entire fight when Cell started to try more and more, and the only real best shot he got in here was this blast, which eventually proved to be futile. So with that being said, a lot of people will say, well, maybe Goku could have jumped in, teamed up with Gohan, they could have beaten Cell together, or maybe something like that. I don't think so. I think that he was so much stronger than them both when he went to full power that the only one who could have actually won here was the rage-boosted Gohan with the Super Saiyan 2 on top of it. That's just how much of a gigantic difference there was, just how much of a beast he was, pun intended in this case. And, well, we go on to see that Gohan is still even able to beat Super Perfect Cell. But let's get into another fight, though, that would have happened with Goku if he had taken the Senzu Bean, which is right here before Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. Krillin is actually right about to give Goku a Senzu because he decides he's going to actually jump in after Piccolo's words about Goku not understanding Gohan's mentality and that his plan would fail, which eventually did succeed, but still, he misunderstood his own son and put the fate of the world on his hands when he was thinking like, oh, why won't my dad help me? And so Goku decided to jump in and intervene. Now, when this happened, well, Cell decided to change up his game plan. He grabbed the Senzu beans out of their hands and, well, what happened? Then he unleashed his Cell Juniors after he blasted Android 16. We'll just skip past that because Harold doesn't like that scene. But either way, he unleashes these guys, and they're all not only really strong, but Goku, because he's exhausted, even he can't keep up with them. We see them being down, of course, the humans, and Tien, of course, some people don't think he is one, but even Goku, well, he's down here getting his butt handed to him. He's getting punched in the face. In the anime, it's so much even more so, but look at this right here. Look at what happens to Goku when he's fighting the Cell Juniors. He's telling everyone he's sorry, he didn't realize it would go this way. He is messing up, dungoofing in his estimation, only to be validated later on. But you see, the thing is that if Goku did take a Senzu Bean, would he have been able to fight against the Cell Juniors? I would have to say so. I mean, even despite the fact that Vegeta has a way bigger forehead than usual in whatever form he's in right now to fight them. I talked about in the top right corner as well, in the cards on my channel, the video which is were Vegeta and Cell mastered Super Saiyans, grade 4s, or something else during this fight. A lot of times it seems like they weren't the bulked up forms that they were when they fought against Cell earlier on. But either way, would Goku be able to fight them? I think so, yeah. I think he would have been able to at least beat one of them one-on-one, because I don't think that each of them were as strong as Goku, even though they weren't necessarily going all out because they wanted to torture them before they kill them. Cell then tells them that they're ready to do so. They can if they want to. But the thing is that I think that Goku would have stood a way better chance. And with him and the others together, they might have been able to turn the tides, even when the Cell Juniors started to fight at full power. The thing is, however, when you think about that, it does kind of raise the question of, would this allow Gohan to go full power? But we know that it was Android 16 and his death after his words to Gohan, and the fact that Gohan sees him, he's this loving android, a sense, who, is the complete opposite mentality of Cell, getting killed, which he theoretically could have stopped if he went full power beforehand, and the fact that he knows that now some people words cannot reach, and that in effect this being Cell in front of him is one of them. It's not a sin to fight. It's not a sin to use his anger to battle. And thus in turn, when he goes to do that, that is what allows him to be actualized in his power. So you could argue perhaps that even if the Z Fighters were putting up a way better fight here at the end, you would have Goku full power, maybe a little weakened from the fight against a bunch of them at the same time. The humans would probably all be down anyway, but then you'd have Piccolo and the other Saiyans standing up with a better chance. So you could argue maybe that would deter Gohan a little bit, but ultimately it isn't the words of the others or their torment that is what really leads him to snapping and popping, right? Instead, it was 16. And so as a result, I don't necessarily know that Goku getting the Senzu Bean would really change anything. I mean, ultimately, we'd still likely end up in a situation, because look at this. I mean, eventually, after Gohan kills all of the bugs and squashes them, what happens? Well, we end up having Goku eating a Senzu Bean anyway, after Gohan has the whole fight taken care of. And, well, not just that, he's irrelevant in terms of this. He's standing on the sidelines. His power is nothing by comparison. He can't do anything. It's all in Gohan's hands. But, well, with that being said, Goku would still probably end up in the same situation. Gohan messes up. He refuses to kind of finish everything the way he's supposed to. So Goku teleports in, teleports Cell away to King Kai's planet. Unfortunately, he should have called first, and then they all get exploded. And that's the end of Goku in this arc up until the next one. So in terms of everything, the question is, would it have made any difference if Goku ate a Senzu Bean when Cell asked him to earlier when he gives up? Or when, in fact, the Cell Juniors show up? The only difference I could see would be really kind of superficial. He would still end up basically in the same place he was anyway, because Gohan would probably drop the ball. It would still cause Goku to have to get blown up because he had to teleport Cell away. And it's not like anyone would jump in. I've heard a lot of people make the assertion that, oh, well, when Cell reverted back and he spit up 18, that everybody should have just jumped in and killed him. It's like, why would they do that? Like, they all see Gohan as winning. They had no idea that he would just turn into a bomb and blow himself up. And it happens so quickly that by the time they realize what even happened, it's too late and he would just blow himself up anyway. So either way, I think that's kind of the conclusion right here. That this wouldn't have really changed anything in the story other than the fact that Goku would have put up a better fight. Could he have beaten the Cell Juniors on his own? I don't think he could have beaten all of them, but maybe they would have turned the tides and won the battle with his help against those guys, but they were still nothing compared to the power of their daddy and compared to the power of Goku's son, Son Gohan, who is Son Gohan's grandson, the father, Anyway, the fact is that it wouldn't stand any chance. He wasn't anywhere near as powerful as Cell. Even at full power, didn't make a difference. Even if Goku went Super Saiyan 2, he wouldn't be as strong as his son was either, because he didn't have that hidden potential. He wasn't as strong as his son in base or Super Saiyan, so it wouldn't have ultimately mattered. I even have a video you guys could check out in the top right again, which is that what if Vegeta became a Super Saiyan 2 against Cell? Spoilers, very similar outcome in terms of the fact that they wouldn't have been anywhere near as strong as Gohan. So let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to stick around, because there's a lot more Cell Saga media to come in the future.
Y'all, and you better subscribe.